Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into a text today that has mystique, a text that has secrets, a text that has had whispers surrounding it for centuries. We're uncovering, well, attempting to uncover, the secrets of the Book of Enoch.
And it's a book, it really is, that offers a unique window into Second Temple Judaism.
Second Temple Judaism. All right, so we are talking about a pivotal period in Jewish history.
Absolutely. And the Book of Enoch is like this time capsule that allows us to kind of peek into this world where Jewish beliefs were being challenged, reshaped.
Like finding, I don't know, a lost diary filled with secrets and maybe some controversies.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have to admit, I haven't spent years studying ancient religious texts.
Sure.
Help us out here. What exactly are the Book of Enoch?
So imagine it's like a collection of writings, like different chapters.
Okay.
And a much larger story. And each of these chapters reflects a different perspective and the anxieties of the time.
Okay.
And you'll find a whole mix in there. You'll find visions of angels, prophecies of doom, detailed astronomical observations.
So this isn't exactly light reading.
You got it.
And this wasn't, if I remember correctly, part of the official Jewish or Christian Bible?
Right. You're exactly right. It's considered pseudepigraphal, meaning it's attributed to, in this case, a biblical figure, Enoch, Noah's great-grandfather.
Okay.
But scholars believe it was written much later.
Much later. So why was it excluded? Was it too controversial?
Ooh, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Too radical for the time.
Makes you think. So you mentioned Second Temple Judaism.
Yes.
Paint a picture for us what was going on during this period.
So picture this, a Jewish community that is really caught between tradition and change.
Okay.
You have the Second Temple in Jerusalem.
Right.
It was a center of their religious life.
It was.
But there were also these vibrant debates happening about how to interpret the Jewish law
Oh, interesting.
and the scriptures. And then on top of that, you have this looming presence of the Hellenistic empires,
Right.
which brought their own cultural and religious influences.
So, like a melting pot of ideas and tensions.
Exactly.
No wonder a book like Enoch, with all this kind of, I guess, emerged during this period.
Yeah, it's fascinating how it reflects the times.
So how does the Book of Enoch, this collection of writings, fit into this historical context?
It gives us a window right into the different ways that these different Jewish communities were wrestling with these challenges.
Okay.
Some embraced Hellenistic ideas,
Uh-huh.
some fiercely resisted them, and the Book of Enoch captures this struggle.
Okay, so let's dive into the book itself. Where do we even begin with a text this complex?
Well, the Book of Enoch, as we said, a collection of writings, is divided into 5 distinct sections,
5.
each with its own unique focus. You have the Book of Watchers, Book of Parables, the Book of the Heavenly Luminaries, the Dream Visions, and the Epistle of Enoch.
A lot to unpack.
Yes.
Let's start with the Book of Watchers. I have to say, pretty captivating title. What are these Watchers? What makes this section so significant?
Well, remember that melting pot of cultures and ideas we talked about?
Yes.
The Book of Watchers dives headfirst into the anxieties of that era, and particularly the influence of those Hellenistic empires you mentioned.
Okay, so how does it do that? Does it criticize directly Hellenistic rulers?
It's a bit more symbolic than that.
Okay.
It weaves a tale of these fallen angels called Watchers.
All right.
And these angels rebel against God, they descend to earth, they mate with human women,
Okay.
they create a race of giants.
Fallen angels, giants. Sounds like, I don't know, something out of a movie. Is there a deeper meaning here, or is it just a fantastical story?
Well, always got to look deeper.
Right.
Think about it. This group of powerful beings, defying this divine authority
Okay.
and causing chaos on earth.
Uh-huh.
Now, this imagery, it might resonate with a Jewish community facing the imposing power of foreign empires that were literally there to reshape their world.
So the Watchers, their giant offspring, could be a metaphor for the Hellenistic rulers and the disruption they brought. Oh, wow.
Right. So it's a way of expressing these anxieties and fears in a way that wouldn't directly challenge those in power.
That's really clever, like a coded message hidden in this, fantastical story. But if we're reading between the lines here, what exactly were they afraid of? How did these Hellenistic rulers threaten Jewish life?
Well, put yourself in their shoes, right? Imagine being told that your God is no longer the only God,
Right.
or that your customs, your traditions are inferior.
Yeah.
That was the reality for many Jews under Hellenistic rule.
Yeah.
Some rulers even tried to force them to adopt Greek gods and Greek practices.
So this wasn't just abstract, this clash of cultures. It had a real impact on people's lives and beliefs.
Well, absolutely.
And the Book of Watchers gives us kind of a glimpse into how some people were processing those anxieties.
Precisely. They couldn't just write a political pamphlet criticizing the rulers, so they used storytelling, they used allegory to express their fears, their resistance, and maybe even their hope for a future where these threats would be overcome.
So we have this incredibly rich text that reflects not only the historical context of the Second Temple period, but also the anxieties and hopes of the people living through it. What else does the Book of Watchers reveal about this era?
Well, the Book of Watchers also, delves into these pretty complex ideas about the nature of good and evil, the role of angels, even the afterlife.
Yeah.
It's not just about these political anxieties. It's exploring these really fundamental human questions.
It's amazing how these ancient texts, thousands of years old,
Right.
can still resonate with us today.
Absolutely.
Right and wrong, our place in the universe,
Yeah.
these are timeless.
Timeless.
And the Book of Watchers provides a glimpse into how people were grappling with these issues thousands of years ago.
Yeah, in their own way.
Okay, so we've explored, the rebellious angels,
Right?
the cultural anxieties of the Book of Watchers.
Yes.
What other controversies or debates were happening within Second Temple Judaism?
Well, believe it or not, there was a pretty big debate about something we might take for granted today.
Okay.
The calendar.
Really, a calendar controversy.
Well, I know. It doesn't sound as dramatic as fallen angels and giants.
Yeah.
But trust me, this debate had major implications for Jewish life and religious practice.
Okay.
And another section of the Book of Enoch, the Book of the Heavenly Luminaries, dives headfirst into this controversy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What was the big deal about the calendar?
So, during the Second Temple period,
Yeah.
the official calendar used in the Jerusalem temple was a lunar calendar
Okay.
based on the cycles of the moon.
Right.
Right. But the Book of the Heavenly Luminaries presents a completely different system,
Okay.
a solar calendar based on the cycles of the sun.
Okay.
And it argues that this solar calendar is the divinely ordained one, the correct one.
So it's not just about keeping track of time. It's about, challenging the very authority of the temple and the religious establishment.
You got it. This wasn't just a minor disagreement.
Right.
This was a fundamental challenge to the way that religious life was organized.
Wow.
Imagine celebrating major festivals on different days or observing the Sabbath on a different day of the week.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would create a real rift.
It would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why was there such a push for a solar calendar?
That's where things get really fascinating.
Okay.
Remember those Dead Sea Scrolls we talked about earlier?
Yes.
Well, fragments of the Book of Enoch, including the Book of the Heavenly Luminaries, were found among those scrolls.
So this suggests that the solar calendar wasn't just some, abstract idea.
Right.
It was actually being used.
Yes, by a specific community.
Wow.
Scholars believe that the community at Qumran, where the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered,
Right.
they favored this solar calendar.
Interesting.
And this tells us something important about Second Temple Judaism.
Okay.
It wasn't a monolithic, unified entity.
Right.
There were different groups, different interpretations, and even different ways of observing their faith.
We're really getting a glimpse into this, diversity and, dare I say, drama of Jewish life during this period.
And the Book of Enoch, with its different sections and perspectives, helps us piece together this complex puzzle.
Okay, so we've got rebellious angels.
Yeah.
We have a calendar controversy.
Uh-huh.
What other surprises await us in this ancient text?
Well, if we move on to the Epistle of Enoch,
Okay.
we encounter this really powerful vision of judgment, consolation, and messianic hope.
Ooh, judgment, consolation.
And a Messiah.
That sounds intense.
It is, imagine a message addressed to both the righteous and the wicked,
Okay.
outlining the consequences of their actions.
Oh, okay.
The Epistle of Enoch does not hold back.
Right.
It paints this very vivid picture of a world gone astray,
Okay.
riddled with social and religious evils.
Evils is a pretty strong word.
It is.
What kind of things are we talking about?
So the epistle rails against those who hoard wealth while others starve, those who twist the law for their own benefit,
Okay.
and those in positions of religious authority who abuse their power.
It's incredible how some of these themes still resonate today.
I
You know,
know.
we're still grappling with these issues of social justice, inequality, abuse of power.
Absolutely. And the Epistle of Enoch reminds us that these concerns are not new.
Yeah.
They've been woven into the fabric of human societies for centuries.
You mentioned consolation as well.
Right.
If the epistle is so focused on judgment and these societal evils,
Yes.
where does the consolation come in?
So the epistle doesn't just offer this bleak picture of doom.
Okay.
It also provides this message of hope,
Okay.
particularly to those who are suffering and struggling to do what's right.
Yeah.
It assures them that their perseverance will be rewarded
Okay.
and that a new era of peace and justice is coming,
Yeah.
led by a messianic figure.
The Messiah, that's a concept that carries a lot of weight, especially for those familiar with Jewish and Christian traditions.
Absolutely. And the Epistle of Enoch contributes to this evolving idea of a Messiah who will not only restore order, but also establish a world free from oppression and injustice.
Okay, so we've got rebellious angels, a calendar controversy, and this powerful message of judgment and hope.
Yes.
It seems like each section of the Book of Enoch we've explored so far tackles a different aspect of the challenges and beliefs of Second Temple Judaism.
That's a great observation. The Book of Enoch isn't this monolithic text with a single message.
Right.
It's more like a collection of voices,
Uh-huh.
each reflecting this unique perspective on these turbulent times that we're living in.
So what other voices are waiting to be heard? What's the next thread we'll be pulling on in our exploration of the Book of Enoch?
Let's journey into the realm of dreams and symbolism.
Okay.
The next section we'll be exploring is the dream visions.
Dream visions. All right, so sounds like we're stepping into a world of metaphors,
Yeah.
hidden meanings. What should we be prepared for as we enter this dreamscape?
Well, be prepared for some vivid imagery. The dream visions, they don't hold back.
Okay.
They take us on this symbolic journey through history, using animals to represent empires, rulers.
Okay, so not exactly fluffy bunnies and cute kittens.
Not quite.
This is a different kind of animal kingdom. What kind of creatures are we dealing with here?
So one of the central images is the animal apocalypse.
Okay.
And it's this fascinating system where sheep, bulls, birds of prey, they're all used to depict these struggles between good and evil,
Okay.
the righteous and the wicked.
Animal apocalypse. Yeah, that definitely paints a picture.
Yeah.
So how do these animal symbols help us understand the historical context of the dream visions?
Well, remember, the dream visions are believed to have been written during a time of intense conflict.
Okay.
The Maccabean revolt against Seleucid rule.
Right.
So imagine living under the shadow of this powerful empire, your religious freedoms threatened.
Yeah, that puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
So are these animals a way of kind of commenting on those real-world events?
Exactly.
Almost like a coded message?
Exactly. For example, the author uses sheep to represent the faithful followers of God,
Okay.
those who are trying to preserve their traditions and their way of life.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you have these predatory animals,
Okay.
like eagles or lions. They often symbolize the oppressive forces of the Seleucid Empire.
So it's like they're using these animal metaphors to express, I don't know, resistance, hope for liberation,
Absolutely.
like a form of subversive commentary hidden in plain sight.
Right. They couldn't just openly criticize the rulers or call for rebellion, so they embed these messages within these symbolic dreams.
Okay, so we've got these animal symbols representing these forces at play, but what about the apocalypse part?
Right.
Is this just a description of the current struggles
Well,
or a glimpse into the future?
The dream visions aren't just describing the present, they're also providing hope for the future.
Okay,
The ultimate message is one of judgment
okay,
and renewal.
okay.
The wicked, those predatory animals, they're ultimately going to face divine punishment.
Right.
But the righteous, the sheep,
Yeah.
they're going to be vindicated and rewarded.
So even in the midst of all this oppression and uncertainty,
Yeah,
there's this unwavering belief that justice will prevail
absolutely.
and a new era of peace will dawn. It's a powerful message
It is.
of hope for a community facing these very real threats.
Right, and that message probably resonated deeply with those who were reading or hearing these visions.
Right.
It gave them something to hold on to.
Yeah.
The belief that their struggles were not in vain, that God was ultimately on their side.
We've journeyed through rebellious angels, a calendar controversy,
Right.
a message of judgment and hope, these symbolic dreams.
Yes.
It's incredible how each section of the Book of Enoch offers this different lens
It does.
through which to view these complexities of
Right.
Second Temple Judaism.
It's like we're piecing together this mosaic,
Yeah,
each section adding a new layer of understanding
it is. It's
to this fascinating,
Yeah.
often turbulent period.
So what's the final piece of this mosaic? What other insights await us in the Book of Enoch?
Well, the final section, the Book of Parables, introduces a figure that would have a profound impact on both Judaism and Christianity,
Okay.
the Son of Man.
Son of Man, that's a term that carries a lot of weight,
It does.
especially for those familiar with Christian theology.
Absolutely.
How does the Book of Enoch portray this figure?
What's striking is that it presents the Son of Man as this pre-existent heavenly being who's destined to judge the wicked
Okay.
and usher in a new era of peace and righteousness.
Pre-existent, so not just a human Messiah, but a divine figure
Right.
who existed before time itself.
That's the implication.
Wow.
And this concept of this pre-existent Son of Man would later become a central tenet
Right.
of Christian belief about Jesus.
It's amazing how this ancient Jewish text seems to foreshadow some of the core ideas of Christianity.
It is.
Was this intentional? Were early Christians, directly influenced by the Book of Enoch?
That's a question that scholars have been wrestling with for centuries.
Right.
It's clear that the Book of Enoch, with its apocalyptic visions, its focus on angels, judgment, its portrayal of the Son of Man,
Yeah.
it had a significant impact on the development of early Christian thought.
So, while the Book of Enoch was ultimately excluded from the official Jewish and Christian canons,
Right.
its influence can still be felt
Absolutely.
in these religious traditions.
It's a reminder that ideas have a way of transcending boundaries and shaping beliefs,
Right.
even when they're not formally accepted
Yeah.
as part of a religious doctrine.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
We-
exploring the mysteries and controversies of the Book of Enoch,
Yeah.
rebellious angels, calendar debates,
Right.
symbolic dreams, the enigmatic Son of Man.
Uh-huh.
This ancient text has given us a glimpse into a world grappling with these profound questions of faith, power, meaning of existence.
And even though it was written thousands of years ago,
Yeah.
it still speaks to us today,
It-
reminding us that this human search for meaning, justice, and hope is this timeless and universal journey.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Book of Enoch.
Absolutely.
We've only scratched the surface,
Yeah.
but hopefully we've sparked your curiosity to explore this text further on your own.
And as you delve deeper, consider this.
Mm.
If the book was so influential,
Yes.
why was it excluded from these official canons
Yeah.
of both Judaism and Christianity? What does this tell us about how religious ideas evolve and this complex process of deciding what is considered sacred?
That is a question to ponder, indeed.
It is.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep